Good evening and welcome to our second Industry Spotlight show tonight. And this time I'm joined by the one and only Dannymax. Good evening, Danny.
Good evening, John.
Danny, this is kind of a fun show because we're going to be going in telling a story that a lot of people don't know about you. And for those of you who are wondering who Dannymax is, in the link down below, there's the Max photo booth and design. It's down. That's his company, and he's really kind of gone from being a teacher to today one of the major gear manufacturers in the photo booth and DJ industry when it comes to the photo booth setups and the DJ goodness gracious, consoles. Trying to think of how to say that. So Danny, let's kind of start at the beginning. Let's take us back to your early days and the entertainment industries there. What was that? What was kind of your first step into that, or something that brought you to that world?
Sure. It was in high school for sure. Mm-hmm. So my high school had a DJ club. I joined the DJ club. It's when I started to become a DJ. And I quickly, really enjoyed it, really liked it. I became the president of that club, and it kind of just progressed from there into a DJ business, photo booth business. There's quite a long history of Dannymax, and I'm going to share some of that tonight.
Excellent. You mentioned, of course, you've got some photos and things that you wanted to share. Is that going to be part of the story that goes all the way back, or when do we pick up the PowerPoint?
I think so. So there's some really odd stuff in there. Not inappropriate odd, just something you wouldn't expect. I started working at a museum. So I always had a passion for being an entrepreneur. I always had a passion for starting a business. I started my first business when I was about 16 years old. And it was not a DJ business, but I was working at a museum, a 19th century living history museum, where I was learning a trade. And I'm going to share a couple interesting little pictures. So let me share my screen.
There we go.
All right. You can see my screen?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it looks great.
Wonderful. Okay. So I started, when I was 16 years old, I started my own business of manufacturing, believe it or not, handmade brooms. And that is a picture of me making a handmade broom. It was at this museum, and then I branched out and started my own business with it. Definitely, probably nothing that anyone would expect to see right now.
So hang on a second. So you had the initial access to this machine at the museum.
Yes. Yep.
Now, when you went off and branched off on your own, you obviously couldn't use the museum's machine, could you?
Nope. I actually made my own. So I made a reproduction machine.
That's what I was thinking this was going. Exactly.
I always had a passion for building. I always had a passion for that. So let me see. I have a few other photos of that. Oh, yep. There's me holding a broom at that same museum.
How old would you have been about this time?
Probably 16
or
so. I would have been in that picture. And do I have any others of that? Let's see. No, I think that's all of my... Oh, here's one more. Give me a second to load it. And another one of me making a broom. Mm-hmm. So I figured I would start with this because it's really an odd thing. I had a lot of fun with it, and it goes hand in hand with eventually where I ended up
today.
Of manufacturing. Yep.
So now this time, at this age, you would have been doing this in the museum, and during school, you were part of the disc jockey club.
Exactly. So I was in high school. I was also DJing at this point. So DJing kind of lasted a while. Mm-hmm. So I had a couple other different businesses while I also DJ'd. So this was in high school. That's when I did a lot of my DJing, and then I DJ'd a lot in college. That I started doing weddings and such. Let's see what other pictures. So
what was your inspiration to get into the music side of it? I mean, people just don't get into the DJ club because you've got to have a love for music to get to that point. Where did that come from?
Definitely. Yeah. So I was always a musician growing up. I started, playing instruments in 4th grade when everyone did that. And I just really enjoyed that. So it was kind of blending of the professional musician side, and just kind of putting everything together. And there's sort of a synthesis there, but I'm going to show you the next business that I started. Now with this broom business, let me let you know, I definitely made tens of dollars. I didn't do anything with it, but it was fun, and it was the start of my entrepreneurship. In college, I studied conducting. I studied band. I was a band teacher, and I kind of wanted to combine and synthesize that again. So let me pull up another photo.
Yep.
Where is it? Oh, I don't have it here. Oh, that's a shame. Give me a second, and I'm going to just grab it real quick.
Thank you guys for being with us out there. Tonight's show is only being streamed to YouTube because Restream's having some issues tonight. If you want to catch this, we're going to be streaming it on Facebook later because we can upload it, and once Restream's working, we'll get it going again. So, not sure what happened with the Restream. If you tried to watch our first show tonight, that one we recorded, and we'll be putting that up as a full show, and it'll probably go up tomorrow morning, just because. Yeah, for some reason, things just are not going, and yet we've got a perfect, solid signal with YouTube going straight to YouTube tonight.
All right, and I believe I just found the photo I wanted to show you. Here it is, and let's just do this. I started a conducting baton business, and I manufactured conducting batons.
Oh my!
So these were handmade, hand turned on a lathe. And I actually sold a lot of these. And again, it was my second business. This business I probably made hundreds of dollars with versus the tens.
Yeah.
But the conductor of the New York Philharmonic has one of my batons. My batons went all around the world.
Wow.
So that was a neat little thing. Yep.
And this was, now, is this during college or?
This was during college. So this was when I was studying music. So the next thing in my progression was I was a music major. And I need to close this out.
Yeah, we're back to you and I as full screen here.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sorry, I'm not the best.
No, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. The photos definitely are helping to tell the story.
I thought it would be fun.
It's
all right.
fun.
I think we're sharing again now, right?
Yep, we're back. I see Square. I see an email. It looks like email program.
Oh, we don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Sharing the wrong screen. We are. Here we go. All right.
There we go. Yep.
So I'm going to show you some pictures. So I actually played professionally. My main instrument was tuba, and most people can probably guess that just looking at my stature, being stereotypical there. But here's a picture of me playing tuba when I was directing a marching band. And that same museum, I played in their 19th century Civil War brass band. And I have a photo of that here, and you can see me all the way on the end there.
Yeah.
So and that was a fun little thing. So now we're progressing to my music career. And I played professionally, but then I also became a high school band teacher. And I taught band for about 5 years. Teaching wasn't really my thing. I did it. I did a good job at it. But I always wanted to work for myself.
Sure.
And that's sort of how it progressed from there.
So hang on. Let's put it. So during that time, what did the Dannymax workshop look like?
The Dannymax workshop. I have pictures of that.
Oh,
I really tried to prepare.
You did. Awesome.
I have a picture of making my first, one of my first photo booths. This was in my shop in a tiny 2-car garage. It was obviously a very hot day.
Yep.
I didn't have any of the machinery that I have now. And here's another picture of the shop when it progressed a little bit more. So I had my first CNC picture, first CNC machine on the right there, table saw that I still use every day. So this is what my shop looked like probably around that time period. I don't have any current pictures of my shop because we're transitioning to a new one.
Well, and we'll actually hopefully get to see some of that next week.
Yes.
Because we're going to be, Danny will be back with us again as part of the virtual expo next week. And we'll have a half an hour to kind of get a tour of some of the new space and what Danny's got, some of the new things out there he's got.
Yep.
So that'll be
absolutely. So that was my small shop. I moved to Delaware. I got a larger shop now. And then now we're moving into a much larger space. Throughout this whole time period, I did a few other things, and I found a fun picture, so I'm going to share that as well. I drove limousines for a while. So that was a limousine that I drove, and let's see, some of those ultra stretch ones that was in Manhattan. So you can see the type of things that I drove. So how did we get into photo booths, I guess, is going to be the next question.
Yeah, exactly. You were teaching and kind of doing some things on the side with your other...
Yep.
Something.
So I always enjoy the entertainment industry. I was a DJ, and I also did some photography. So I thought, you know what, again, let me combine those. I got into photo booths in 2009 was when I started my first photo booth rental company. And I started by manufacturing those booths as well because I didn't like what else was on the market. So I decided to build my own. I was really happy with how those came out. I ran that rental company for about 10 years. This was in the New York City market. We got excellent reviews, one of the highest rated companies, and a lot of people started asking me, well, where'd you buy your photo booths from? And my answer was, well, I made them myself, and I'm not going to sell you one. And I didn't want to sell it to anyone because I wanted the best photo booths on the market. And then so many people kept asking. And I decided, you know what, maybe there's something here. And that's how I got into then actually manufacturing and going to my first photo booth expo, which was in 2018. And I guess it all progressed from there.
So did the side of the working with your hands and doing that, is it something, did you have a mentor in that area, or is it something that was just kind of trial and error as you were learning how to use the different tools?
So my grandfather was handy. And he was really good at doing basic stuff around the house. And I remember back to when I was maybe 4 or 5 years old, and I remember going out in the yard with my grandfather, and we had this 2x4, and I just put a couple different screws in it. And this was like, I was so proud of this. I showed everyone. I held on to this for a really long time. I don't know where it is, but up until a few years ago, I still had that. So my inspiration to building was definitely from my grandfather.
Then you've had the inspiration and such. Was it, did he teach you things, or was that just or was it basically when you get the new tools and you were learning and such, there's the scrap pile of things that didn't turn out?
So, I mean, he started my journey of really enjoying the work with my hands, but his skill level wasn't anywhere, near where mine is now. So a lot of what I did, and for the photo booth manufacturing, all the CNC machines, everything else that I do, was pretty much self-taught. Some was YouTube, some was online, some was trial and error. All the designs I just came up with. I'd put them in the computer, cut them out, cut a whole bunch of prototypes, change it, tweak it a little bit. But yeah, mainly I would say it's pretty much self-taught.
So going back, when your parents would go to teachers' conferences and you were a little Dannymax, when did they start to get that Danny likes to be creative and do things, and that there might have been an entrepreneurial tendency with you?
I mean, I guess that started at a young age. When I started my first business when I was 16, and it was something with my hands. And the creative side, I was always a musician, and I always was played in the band, and I went to festivals and performed and all that. So I guess they went hand in hand with the creative side and working with my hands for sure.
So you've expanded. You had your small workshop, and you've gone to step 2, and now we'll be looking at step 3.
Yeah.
What does that? How does that change what you're able to do when you go to a larger space like that?
Yeah, I mean, it changes everything. So my first shop was about 200 square feet. You saw a picture of it. Now I'm working in about 900 to 1,000 square feet. The new shop is close to 5,000 square feet. So it is significantly larger. I have a brand new CNC machine on order. And this is really going to be a big expansion of the business. Just being able to produce more product quicker and a lot more variety of products as well. Like, I just got into the photo booths were about for 4 years. Then I got into the DJ consoles this past year. There's a lot more coming for the DJ field from Max Design.
Yeah, and the consoles, even as you've been, those have kind of evolved and such, of just some really neat little evolution as you've been going through and changing things and adjusting and customizing things for people. Also, it's really kind of cool.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. The 2 iPad one, I looked at that at first and it's like, hey, that's different, and then I'm thinking that's really actually kind of a cool idea. Somebody had an idea, and you can definitely turn it out. So going forward with the newer space, you're going to be adding more for the DJ industry? Photo booth, I'm guessing that there's going to be some new evolution that we're going to be of the photo booths that'll be coming out here probably sometime between now and February. Can you give us a little teaser?
More new stuff for the DJ industry. I'll let you know that.
Okay.
Some different designs in consoles, some different products, a more refined version of the totems that I released, and just a lot more products on the DJ side. Photo booth side, I developed that duo photo booth, which you actually see behind me over there. That's already like version 3 of that device, and it's come a long way. It's a really good booth. It's my best selling booth, and really currently not going to make too many changes to that because it's in a really good place, and it's been working out really well for my customers.
And Danny, what's right behind you? As long as you took the photo booth is over your right shoulder.
Sure.
And what do you?
Yep. Well, these are my DJ consoles. So that is the Infinity XL right here, which is the larger version, which fits controllers all the way up to Rain 12s. I have a set of Rain 12s in there right now. And then the smaller version over on this side of the screen, which will fit anything up to about the size of a DDJ 1000. These are the 2 models that I've had on the market since, we're going on probably 9-10 months now for these.
And I mentioned, of course, that you've been customizing as people have been coming in with ideas and saying, "Hey, can this happen?" I mean, how much of that is customizable when it comes to one of the consoles?
Well, I just sent out a console yesterday where someone said, "Listen, I really want an external mixer. Where can I put it?" So we actually cut a custom top that are 2 different cutouts, so it'll fit his Rain 1. And also a Yamaha mixer. So basically whatever equipment you would want in there, we can put in it. If it's something like that where we're cutting extra holes and there's extra sets of rails, there's an additional charge for a customizing fee.
Certainly.
But generally speaking, the booths I call them semi-custom because you can fit it for pretty much any controller that's on the market.
Excellent. And again, next week, next Monday night at, 7 o'clock Eastern. 7 o'clock Eastern, we'll be doing, I think, 7:30, I think is when I have you scheduled, Danny. So it's either 7 or 7:30 next Monday night. You guys will be able to join us again, and we're going to go through some more things with Danny. Danny, in this day and age, when you need to recharge the battery and get away from the busyness, what is a recharge time for Dannymax?
Recharge time for me would probably be boating. I love boating. I've owned a boat since I was 18 years old, and that would probably what I would do the most in order to just recharge, get a little bit of a break, and such. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, boating is something that we enjoy also here in Minnesota with the land of 10,000 lakes. We've got a little bit of that goes on. Well, Danny, I think we'll wrap up here, and looking forward to next week when we'll be able to do a little bit more of a tour and looking at some gear and things with that. If people want to go out and check out any of the products, what's the best website for them to head out to check out the DJ consoles?
So it's maxpbdesign.com, but even easier, just go to dannymax.com.
Dannymax.com. Excellent. That is easier. And I'll put that into the chat here so you guys can pop out there and check things out. We're going to wrap this segment up, and then at the top of the hour, Dan and MJ and I will be back, and we'll be talking referrals. And again, Danny, looking forward to chatting again next week.
All right, John, thanks for having me on.
You bet. Thanks for being on with us. We'll catch you guys in just a little bit.
All right.
Oh, come on. Mouse not going.